Hello, this is Mrs. Pickett, and we are ready to start Module 2. Everyone did a great job in Module 1, so I hope that you continue. Remember, you should copy these notes prior to coming into class, so you can either just write these down in your notebook, or if you like to print them out, feel free to do that. Just make sure that you get them copied and that you are ready to discuss when you come to class tomorrow. All right, so we are going to continue where we left off in Mod 1. We had started talking about how to solve equations, and we did a basic two-step equation. So now, for lesson 2.1, just make sure you write that down, okay? Now we're going to solve multi-step equations, okay? So there are 3 steps when you do this. Step number 1, we are going to get rid of any distributive property. So if there is a distributive property, you are going to have to distribute, okay? Now that's only if it's there. You may not have one. Step 2, so step 1 is check for distributive property. Step 2 is to combine any of your like terms. And then step 3 would be to solve. And we solve using the same rules as our two-step equations, all right? Same rules. You're going to do your inverse operations where you undo. Inverse operations. So remember, addition and subtraction undo each other. Multiplication and division undo each other, okay? So if we look at example 1, I'm going to enlarge this a little bit so you guys can see what I'm doing. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a line right down the center from the equal sign because that divides my equation into 2 parts. Now I'm going to look. Any distributive property, so I'm looking for parentheses. This has none, so no parentheses. So step 2 is to combine like terms, so that's anything that's on the same side. So if we look, I'm going to highlight here. I have a 9x and a negative 7x. I'm going to combine those together, so I want to add 9 plus negative 7, or 9 minus 7. So that is going to give me 2x. And then I'm going to look, I have a plus 1 and a minus 5, so my constants go together. So 1 minus 5 is going to give me a negative 4. So I simplified by combining my like terms. Over here, the negative 20 is going to stay the same. I didn't do anything to that. And now look what I have, a two-step equation. So now I'm going to solve. So minus 4, I'm going to add 4 to both sides, because whatever we do to one side, we have to do to the other side. Opposites cancel. Now I'm left with 2x is equal to negative 20 plus 4 is going to give me negative 16. Now I need to get rid of the 2. Since it's being multiplied, the opposite of multiplication is to divide. So I'm going to divide both sides by 2. Opposites will cancel out there. 2 divided by 2 just leaves 1. And so I get that x is equal to negative 16 divided by 2 gives me a negative 8. And that would be my answer. Okay? Let's try another one. Let's look at number 2. All right, step 1, well, first thing we're going to do is I'm going to divide my equation so that I can know. And now step 1 is to look for a distributive property. In this one, I do have distributive property. This negative 7 needs to be multiplied. So I'm going to work that out first. So over here, 91 is going to stay the same. Negative 7 times 3a. So negative 7 times 3 is going to give me a negative 21a. And then negative 7 times negative 1 is going to give me a positive 7. So I did distributive property, and now I'm going to solve. So I have plus 7, so I want to do minus 7, or a negative 7. Remember, minus, negative means the same. Plus, positive means the same. So now if we look, 91 minus 7 is going to give me 84. And then I have my negative 21a. So now I'm going to divide by negative 21. And when I do that, a equals 84 divided by negative 21 is going to give me a -4. And if you need to plug that into your calculator, that's fine. Oh, remember, these canceled. Forgot to cancel that out for you. So that's how I got left with just A. Okay? Let's try another one. Let's look at number 3. Okay, so first thing, I'm going to divide my equation. So I have my two sides. First thing I'm going to do is look for any distributive property. Notice we have one right here. So I'm going to distribute this through. Now remember, the sign that's in front of the number goes with it. So we are distributing a -5 through. So my 4m is not going to change. Now I'm going to do -5 times 3m. So that's going to give me -15m. And -5 times 10 is going to give me a -50. And then that's all equal to 126. Okay? Now we need to look if we have any like terms we can combine. So 4m minus 15m. Those are like terms. They have the same variable. So 4 minus 15 is going to give me -11m minus 50. Okay? This was a 50 right here. It doesn't look very good. Let me fix that for you. So that was 50. And then it was equal to 126. Okay? Everybody good right now? And so now I'm going to add the 50 to both sides. Whoops, over here. I'm going to add 50 to this side because we want to undo. So these cross out. So I'm not left with -11m is equal to, when I add 126 and 50, that's going to give me 176. So then I'm going to move up here just because I ran out of space. -11m equals 176. Our last step is to divide by -11. And now we'll get that m is equal to -16 when you divide that out. And that would be your answer. Okay, so step number 3 had a little bit, it had both distributive and combining like terms. So we're going to do one more question here together. Okay, so we're going to look at number 4. I'm going to set up my little t-chart area so I know where my equation, what sides I'm on. Look for distributive property first. Now in this one, look what's happening. I have a -3 out front here. And then I have a -1 here. Remember, just because you don't see the number, that's a -1 there. Ones are invisible. So we actually have two distributive properties that we have to do. So I'm going to do this one first. So -3 times k is -3k. -3 times -8 is going to give me a +24. Now over here, I also have to do my distributive property. -1 times k is a -k. -1 times 5 is a -5. And all of that is equal to 23. Okay? Now we need to look for like terms. So I have a -3k and a -1k. So we want to add them together. They're both negatives, so we're going to add. That's going to give me -4k. And then I have a +24 and a -5. So we want to do 24 minus 5, which is going to give me a +19. And then that's going to be equal to 23. Now we just have a two-step equation. So to solve this, I'm going to subtract 19. That will leave -4k. 23 minus 19 is going to be 4. We're going to divide by -4, and we get that k equals -1. Okay? All right, so I gave you the little, like, 3 steps to follow. You're checking for distributive property, you're looking for combining like terms, and then you are solving using our two-step rules that we learned. So what I want you to do tonight on your flip grid, I want you guys to answer number 5 as your flip grid response. So write it out, show me your work, and explain what you're doing so I can see that you understood. And then I will see you guys all tomorrow in class, all right? So have a great night. Number 5 here, this is your flip grid.